In the silence before battle, there's a moment, cold, quiet, sharp. It is not the weapons that decide the outcome. It is not the number of soldiers, the noise of the crowd, or the strength of your arms. It is the mind. Victory begins long before the first blow is struck. It begins with knowing. Know yourself. Know the enemy. These are not just poetic fragments from an ancient general. They are survival. They are strategy. They are power. Carved in the pages of the art of war, Sun Tzu's wisdom has outlived empires, kingdoms, and regimes. Because war, in all its forms, never disappears. It only changes shape. To know yourself is not a feel-good exercise. It is brutal. It is uncomfortable. It means standing in front of your truth, naked and unarmed. It means naming your fears out loud. It means understanding why you hesitate when pressure rises, why you lash out when challenged, why your confidence cracks when things go wrong. You must look at yourself the way a rival would, cold, objective, calculating. What are your patterns under stress? What breaks your focus? What lies do you tell yourself? If you don't confront these truths, someone else will, and they won't show mercy. Knowing yourself means understanding not only your strengths, but your limits. Many fall because they overestimate their own force. They move too early, speak too boldly, trust the wrong instinct. Confidence is nothing without clarity. The sharper your self-awareness, the fewer surprises you face. And in the arena of life, where timing is everything, that clarity is lethal. You become the one who waits when others rush. You strike when others sleep. You become silence before the storm, calculation behind the smile. You stop playing the game emotionally. You begin to move with intent. But the other half of mastery, the darker half, is knowing your enemy. The enemy is not always a soldier on a battlefield. In modern war, the enemy could be a rival company, a political opponent, a manipulative boss. Study the enemy's behavior. Learn how they win. Learn how they lose. Watch how they react under pressure. The greatest generals don't just fight. They listen. They observe. They let their enemies reveal their own weakness. Because every enemy has a tell. No matter how strong, no matter how disciplined, pride leaves a mark. Fear leaves a pattern. The key is to be patient enough to see it. Let them talk. Let them show you who they are. Because once you know what they depend on, you know what to take away. Do they rely on intimidation? Confront them with calm. Do they thrive on control? Introduce chaos. Do they play the victim? Deny them sympathy. To know your enemy is not to hate them. It's to understand them so completely that you can dismantle their strategy before they even move. Sun Tzu wrote, "If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles." But people forget the second half of that truth. If you know only yourself but not the enemy, you will lose as often as you win. And if you know neither, you will fall. Every time. So we live in war. Not always with guns or blades, but with competition, with time, with temptation, with doubt. Every day is a quiet battlefield. You wake up, and whether you realize it or not, the war has already begun. The war for discipline. The war against procrastination. The war to remain focused while others drift. The war to build something while others destroy. And the biggest war of all, the one inside your own mind. You must win the inner war before you ever step into the outer one. Because no enemy out there can destroy you faster than the one within. Your insecurities, your excuses, your fears dressed up as logic. They whisper every time you delay. They grow stronger every time you flinch. Until one day you wake up and realize you lost and no one even had to fight you. Knowing yourself is the beginning of winning that battle. Knowing what triggers your worst instincts. What breaks your flow. What keeps you from finishing what you start. These are not small details. They are the blueprint of your downfall or your rise. But then comes the real game, aligning both inner clarity and outer awareness. Because when you know yourself and know your enemy, you move like a ghost. You enter the room already in control. You don't react, you anticipate. You don't guess, you calculate. You don't fear outcomes because you've already prepared for all of them. Most people live emotionally. They chase distraction. They avoid discomfort. They lash out blindly when threatened. They play checkers in a world that rewards chess. But you, if you study both sides, start playing a different game. You wait when others panic. You analyze when others blame. You keep your power. And that power, self-knowledge combined with enemy insight, is what topples giants. Imagine walking into every negotiation already understanding the weaknesses of the other side. Imagine stepping into competition already having dissected your rival's entire strategy. Imagine looking in the mirror and seeing no confusion, no fear, only calm understanding of who you are and what you're capable of. That's the weapon. That's the edge. It's not flashy. It's not loud. It's not a viral moment. It's something deeper. It's silent confidence built over time, through pain, through reflection, through study. To master the art of war is to master the art of awareness. Not just tactics, but timing. Not just action, but restraint. Not just fighting, but choosing when not to fight at all. Sun Tzu said, "The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting." And that begins with understanding yourself, the terrain, the situation, the opponent. You become unpredictable, unshakable, and eventually untouchable. So ask yourself, do you know your own weaknesses? Can you list them without shame? Do you know what your enemies rely on? What they assume about you? Because that's where your work begins. This is not about violence. It's not about destruction. It's about intelligence. It's about control. You don't need to win by force. You win with presence, with perception, with patience. You move like a storm behind a still sky. By the time they realize what you've done, it's already over. And remember this: victory is earned in preparation, not performance. The moment of battle only reveals what you've already built. And if you've built clarity, discipline, and insight, there will be no surprises, only results. So know yourself, ruthlessly, relentlessly. Know the enemy, quietly,